Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something really quite powerful from the book of James. It really challenges how we often think about faith. Our mission here is to unpack this really critical idea that living by faith, well, it isn't the same as living with self-confidence.
Exactly. And the material we looked at, it really pushes back against some common assumptions people have about faith. It shows that genuine faith, it's much more demanding, it's much more transformative than just, say, chasing our own expectations or looking for personal blessings. So we're going to dig into these insights from James and hopefully see just how relevant they are for us today.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The sources point to James' writing because of a specific issue. Apparently these early Jewish Christians had sort of, well, misunderstood justification by faith. The idea we're made right with God through grace.
Right, that foundational concept.
Yeah, and what happened was their faith ended up becoming superficial and formal. We see hints of this in James chapter 1 and especially chapter 2.
And what's fascinating here is how that superficiality then kind of morphed into a religion where the main goal was just, personal stability and blessings.
Okay, like faith as a means to an end.
Precisely. And here's the kicker, right? If prayers weren't answered the way they wanted, if those desires weren't met, right, they'd gradually fall into unbelief or indifference. So faith becomes this forced, grudging, irritating walk.
Wow, that's stark.
It really is. And the sources argue when faith becomes about us and our expectations, it can even become an idolization project filled with one's own expectations. It shifts the focus away from genuine love and connection, leading to that cooling of love among believers, that self-confidence in getting what they wanted takes over.
What really struck me is that this isn't like a totally new problem. It's an old pattern. If you look back, way back to the Israelites in the Exodus.
Numbers 11, right?
Exactly. They leave Egypt. They've seen miracles, right?
Wow.
Miraculous phenomena.
Yeah.
And they're seeking to receive the blessings they desired.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when real hard faith was needed, trusting God in the tough times, in the wilderness.
Yeah, when it got difficult.
That's when their confidence seemed to be in their own desire for comfort, not in God's plan. They regretted leaving Egypt. They made golden calves, wanted to go back.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't deep faith. It was more like misplaced self-assurance.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, the early church wasn't immune either. People followed Jesus initially, maybe for the amazing miracles and works.
The signs and wonders.
Right. But then, persecution and tribulation came, and what happened? Some turned back to Judaism. And the material suggests, quite pointedly, that this dynamic, well, it can be seen in our current era, too.
Oh, so.
People might join a church because of maybe mob psychology or emotional stimulation initially, but then they drift towards the easy and comfortable path, seeking their own satisfaction and benefit. It's like treating God, as the source puts it, as a genie in a magic lamp. It's that confidence in getting something rather than confidence in God.
So, okay, where does this leave us? We absolutely affirm the core truth. We are children of God by faith alone. That's God's grace, a legal cleansing. That's foundational.
Absolutely essential.
But the material stresses, it's also meant to be a restored relationship with God, a new birth.
Mm.
And the problem, it seems, comes when we've maybe lived emphasizing only the legal meaning, right? Just focusing on being saved.
Mm-hmm. Overlooking the relational aspect.
Yeah, overlooking the call to actually walk according to his will within that new relationship. Our own sort of self-confidence in having the right status can overshadow the living it out part.
And this raises a really important, maybe uncomfortable question. When faith becomes just about self-expectation, what I think I should get, or maybe just a ticket to heaven.
Yeah.
And it neglects the life of mission, the outward-focused life God calls us to, it can actually become a form of idolatry.
Idolatry. That's strong.
It is. The material gives this provocative warning. We can cross the Red Sea from the Egypt of death by God's grace, that's salvation, but still wander in the wilderness and potentially die without reaching the promised land.
Meaning,
if we don't live according to God's values, if we're stuck in our own self-focused desires, we miss the point of the journey. So James, he wasn't just tweaking doctrine, he was issuing a wake-up call. Come back to your true calling.
Right.
Live by God's word, not just your own wants or this misplaced self-confidence.
Wow. This deep dive really does challenge that comfortable idea of faith, doesn't it? It makes it clear faith isn't really about our self-confidence or, just getting what we want. It's a serious commitment, maybe even demanding at times, living by God's will.
It absolutely is. So maybe the question for you listening right now is this. Let's deeply reflect. Is my faith now mostly about seeking religious appearances? Am I kind of content with a convenient life just immersed in my own desires? Or is it genuinely seeking to move forward, to live according to the values of the word values that are often completely different from the world's as this path of faith truly demands? What does it really mean for you to live according to the values of God's word in every single part of your life?